basically. We're not here to, it's part socialize, but we're really here to learn more about God and our faith. So my topic today is talk number 5, Christian ideal and loving God. This is actually a very, 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 very simple talk. I can get it done in 30 seconds if the answer to this one question, honestly and truthfully. You don't have to raise your hand for this question. Who here loves God? I don't have to answer that. I'll repeat the question. Who here truly, 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 truly loves God? You devoted your whole life to God and you have not sinned against God. You guys quote your answer? Yeah? If your answer to that question is a yes, then you're already living an ideal Christian life. My talk is over. I'm done. I can go home. Yes? But we can't have. We're human beings. God has given us free will to love and to sin. And unfortunately, we do a little bit of both. So what I'm going to try to do today is impart to you how to love God. Okay? If you learn how to love God, then you answer the first question. It leads us to the Christian ideal of living. Let me start with a reading from the Bible. From Mark chapter 12, verse 28 to 30. One of the scribes, when he came forward and heard them disputing and saw how well he had answered them, asked him, "Which is the first of all commandments?" Jesus replied, "The first is this, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is Lord alone. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength." Let me just repeat the key sentence to that. You shall love the Lord with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. There's a key word in that one. I'll repeat it one more time. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. What's the key word in that sentence? It starts with an S. Shall. Exactly right, shall. I am an engineer by trade. I read contracts. It either says, you shall do this, or you must do this. A must is black and white. You do it, you don't, you fail. A shall is a preference. This proves to us that God has given man free will. So it's up to us to decide whether we devote ourselves to God, to loving Him, or we decide to sin against Him. So, let's break it down. Loving God with all your heart. So the word heart, when we talk about heart, everyone has this image in their head that heart is very emotional. It's an emotional thing. Sorry. Heart is very emotional. Okay? What goes against that is probably your mind. It's a very technical thing. So, for us, when we say love with all your heart, what that means to me, how I interpret that, is that the start of something, whenever you want to do something, whenever you want to, what gets you up in the morning, okay, is what's inside your heart. It's about I guess it's talking about the will. Think of it as a will. The will to get up in the morning. You use your head, yes. For some, it would be, I need to get up today because I gotta pay some bills, I gotta go to work. No enthusiasm, no, oh yes, I'm excited, I'm ready to go up, brush my teeth, drive to work, yeah. Versus, I gotta get up, work, earn my hours, get paid, and that's all that stuff that's going in your head. Yeah? Versus, I love my job, I want to get to work because what I do helps others, or what I do helps the community. It's a different point of view. So we start with the will of wanting to do something. That starts from the heart. Let's do another example. No singles, so I presume you're all married. So, a cringe here. So, I don't know who courted who. Nowadays, the female can court the male and vice versa. So, I presume that your husband courted you. Yes? I presume that. Because probably it was the other way around. Did you hear?
I'm saying.
Don't tell him. Don't, oh, it's courting. All right. Gentleman, husband, when you first met your wife, or let's say person that you fell in love with, where did that feeling come from? The heart or the head? The head.
The heart.
From the eyes.
Okay, it maybe come from the head. But where did the will to go pursue her come from?
Okay. Heart.
The heart, yes. A lot of the head does is puts hurdles in front of us. But what the heart does, it overcomes those hurdles. It comes up with ways to overcome those hurdles. Does that make sense? I was courting my wife, and she lived in Philippines and Singapore, and I lived here in Australia. This was the period when we had phone cards. People remember phone cards? Yes. I go, beep, 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 beep. You have 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes left. Oh, okay, hurry up. But we overcame the distance. We found ways around it because the will was there. The will was strong. So my point about this is that when we love God with all our heart, we have to decide to love Him, to have the will to love Him. But that doesn't come from the head. It comes from the heart. The next one. Just so I don't go off topic, I will read an example, not example, this is a biblical example, or example of what I mean talking about. Pope Benedict XVI said, love is not merely a sentiment. Sentiment comes and goes. Sentiment can be marvelous, first spark, but it is not a fullness of love. It is the characteristics of mature love that calls into play all man's potentials. It engages the whole man, but this process is always open-ended. Love is never finished and complete throughout life. It changes and matures, and thus remains faithful to itself. This is basically, in a way, saying that love is a feeling that can come and go. But if you truly love, the will to love is there, and it can go on forever. Love changes. I love my wife, I say that all the time, but sometimes when she does, or yes, that love changes too. So love changes depending on the situation. But if your will to love is always there, it will last forever. Okay, another one. To love with our heart means to be totally committed. You guys agree with that? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You can't half love someone. You're in it or you're not in it. Yeah. If you decide to start a family, You're in it. Yeah? Family is born out of love. I truly believe that. There will be ups and downs, there will be hard times, there will be times when everything's easy. But that's what love is about. It's about sacrifice. If you stick with it, it shows your love. Because you're committed. You're here till the end. Not just family, but also your spouse. Okay. This is one thing I love about the Filipino or the Catholic community, is that we go out of our way to make a marriage work. Separation it's like we try not to think about it. Because we decided at the start we love this person and we're going to take it to here. Okay? So just a reminder of that. Next one. Loving God with all your mind and soul. Right, so now we have the will. Now we're going to bring in the mind. Okay, now the mind. When we say love God with all your mind, what does that really mean? It means filling your head with everything to do with the Lord our God. The stories of Jesus, the examples he set, things that he has done in the past that we can also apply in our lives. The compassion he gave people. The fact that he is brave enough to turn the other cheek. Okay? The fact that he has lived through pain, gave up his life for us. Okay? We're going to fill our head with all that sort of stuff. Now, here's a trick question. Who here gets their news from Facebook? Yeah? No, who here communicates via Facebook? Who here has an Instagram account? Who here has, I'm showing my age here, MySpace. That's old school. Who here has, what's the other one? Twitter. No, Twitter. Okay. Who here has Netflix? Wow. Now, I only mentioned maybe 5, but that's 5 ways you can get information. Am I right, bro? Yes. That's only 5 ways. I missed out maybe TikTok. I heard there's TikTok, there's the Snapchat, there's the WhatsApp, there's whole heaps of ways. Now we got Foxtel, we got 24-hour news. All this information can get sucked into your brain. Okay? Now I ask you, how much of the information do you get talks about God? I'm not going to hashtag shame you, but I just want to have you think about it. Okay? That's what we're talking about. God wants us to fill our head, so love God with all our mind. What that means, he wants us to fill our head with things to do with God and Jesus Christ. Okay? To show true love, we want to fill our head. So, the other one is so now we have all this information about that. Let's assume that from starting today, when we turn on our Netflix or go through Google, whatever, we will start to talk about God and start searching about prayers and things like that. Now what do we do with this information? Just because we know what God is about, what do we do with it? It doesn't stop there. Okay? All that information we have to put to good use. Okay? If, for example, you learn a new prayer through Instagram, or someone sent you information how to pray, please, that's a call, that's a sign, that's a call from God to say, this information, use it, pray. If there's a message from the Pope and it really resonates with you, use it. Pray for it. What God wants us to do is to take that information and actually put it to good use in His name, to glorify Jesus Christ. Now let's go the other way. Now, this is the bad stuff. You get all this information. You see someone, there's a disaster, bushfire, people hungry. You know this information, but the best you can do is go, oh yeah, no worries. And the government will do something about it. Yeah. We have full of resources. I'm sure that we can do something about it. That's just one aspect. That's just one thing. That sometimes, for example, here's a religious version of that. Let's say a brother or sister is being persecuted for his or their belief. Is there something we can do about it? Yeah. You don't have to go there. Pray for it. Pray to God. Ask God to look after this person. But be ready to accept God's will. You have to be ready that just because someone is sick or someone needs help, it may be God's will to allow that person to be sick. Maybe because that person will be given strength to inspire. Yeah? They might become speakers. Yeah, who knows? So, the next thing, love God with all our soul. We're basically the person. There's a battle going on between the good and the evil. What we want to do is stay away from the evil and sin. We want to give our soul to God. With our soul, no one else can control our soul. Only we can control it. We can decide to give our soul to the evil one or to God. It's our free will to do that. I hope you choose the latter. And finally, loving God with all our strength. Strength is broken down into three things. Not strength, physical strength, well, I guess you can count that in, but also strength in terms of resources. We got three resources, I'm told. We got time, talent, and treasure. So let's begin. Let's start with our strength of, let's say, talent. Let's start with talent. Now, God has given us all talent. If you believe you don't have a talent, let me test it out now. Who here can read? Yes? Who here has a voice? Oh my God, you guys are all singers. You guys are singers, speakers, influencers. You guys are already talented and you don't even know it. Yeah? So guys, see those treasures, use them for good. Use them to glorify God. Don't forget, we all have talents. Sometimes we just overthink it. When people say talent, they mean, oh, I need to be able to play drums at 120 beats a second. I need to be able to do a guitar like that. No. Everyone has a talent. Just be confident in it. Next one. Next strength is treasure. Treasure, in terms of strength, is the material stuff and stuff that we have that God has given us. Monetary, the good country that we live in. That's a strength because He's put us in a position where we can influence outcomes. Yeah? If you work in the retail industry, you can influence fashion. If you work in the food industry, you can influence how people eat and whether they're going to be full or hungry. If you live in Australia, you have opportunities. Okay? But please don't look inwardly, look outward as well. Use those worldly gifts that we have, worldly strength we call it, to help others. That's a way to show God. If you see someone needing help, don't be conscious about how people are going to see me if I give this person or help this person, give a bit of cash or whatever. Who cares? They know you. I don't know me. I did it at Macca's. There's a guy, Parramatta, which is like that. And I said, man, I have credit card. You want to eat? Yeah, okay. I said, oh, let's go eat. I took him to a German bagel place. He said, no, man, no. I said, what's up? He goes, it's too expensive, man, too expensive. What do you mean? I'll pay for it. No. $5 Mac is Hollywood. What's happened? You know, there's food court underneath in the Paramount. That's where I took him. And it really humbled me because, you know, guy, I thought would be happy to get to taste bagel and it was nice. No, he was really ashamed, felt sorry that I didn't invite him. Embarrassed to that point. So I was given the strength, I influenced, I used my worldly strength, which is my God's gift of money, and I was able to influence God and give him what he did. Last one. Time. Ooh, alright, last one. Should I stretch it or how much you got? 5 minutes, I think? Alright, time. Have you guys done this exercise before? If you have, just shut up now, otherwise you're going to kill my presentation. Okay, so, time. Okay, so let's do this. Let's figure out, I'm an engineer, so let's do this my way. On average, a person lives about 70 years. Yes, agree? Let's figure out how much time we have. Let's assume, firstly, can I get one person to pull out their calculator? Bro, can I get you to play a calculator on your phone? Yep. Yep, thank you. If you can do the maths on this one. So there's 365 days in a year, yes? Come on, guys. Yes? Yes. Okay. How many hours is that? I forgot. Yeah, thank you. Times 24 days. 24 hours. How many hours is that?
613. 200.
613.
200.
613.
200.
200. Okay. Now, sleep. Okay. There's 70 years, and let's say there's 365 days in the year. How many hours do we sleep by average?
8.
Should be 8, yeah? 7. Let's go with the average, 8. What's the number?
204, 400.
204, 400. That's already a third of your life. Yes? Okay. Work. Okay, there's 70 years. Let's assume you work for 11 months, because the 1 month is holiday. Yes? And in a month, let's say there are 4 working weeks. And in that 4 working weeks, you work 5 days a week. And you work how many hours? Now, I need you to include the time it takes for you to get ready and to travel back and forth and have dinner. 10 hours. Let's bump it up to say 11 or 12 because you gotta eat. Okay, what's the number?
184, 800.
184, 400.
800.
800. Okay. Wow. So let's just simplify this. Forget that, forget that, forget that. So you're probably looking at 2, 3, so half your life. Is that right? Half your life is about free time. Is that right? Now, I haven't deducted in this how long we eat and all the entertainment we have, but the question I have for you is, what do you do with your free time? My emphasis for doing this is to demonstrate that, look, over half our lives, or just a bit under half our lives, we do things because we have to do them. And then half of it is free time. So the question I've got is, what do you do with your free time? Time is precious, brothers and sisters. Time is very precious. Now let me throw in a spanner on that. I say we live on average 70 years, but who controls that 70 years? Do we control the 70 years? No. If it's God's will that I step out this off building right now and I get hit by lightning, it's God's will. I end up at 40. So even time's more precious. What my emphasis on these numbers is I want to emphasize to you guys again and again. We have to make the most of what time we're given. So again, the free will to devote our life to God or to decide to sin is up to you guys. In conclusion, so I've set the standard maybe a bit too high, but that's the point. Loving God has to be ideal. There's no point of loving someone 99.99%. You're going to do the best of the best. Because in the end, when we pass through this life, we're going to end up in the kingdom of God. And when we ask, how did you live your life on earth? I'm going to go there with confidence to say, I did everything in my heart, my mind, my soul, and everything in my strength to love God. So has someone else ever done this before? Yes. The answer is yes. Absolutely yes. We have a great model, a wonderful model. We have to fill our minds with him. His name is Jesus Christ. He is the standard. This is my son. Hello. Hello, Nepean. So, welcome. So again, brothers and sisters. It's okay. Alright, so just to finish with my talk. Okay. So just to finish with my chat or talk, I call it a chat because I feel like my message shouldn't be a lecture. It should be a message that you guys can absorb and apply to your life. So, brothers and sisters, have I ended? Do I need to stretch my chat? Do you guys want more? Or have I ended up just on the dot? Okay, Brother Rey, on the dot. Okay. All right, so let's have a chat. Any questions? Any questions? No? Okay. Thank you.
For today. Just a little introduction. She's the songbird of this of our unit. She's got the loveliest voice. And if you have something in your workplace or any concerts that you need someone to sing, I think she's more than happy to sing for them. So without further ado, I'm going to call on Marisol Sandoval.
Hello, brothers and sisters. I'm back. So I'm the sugar for top 5. Sorry, I'm just okay, my name is Rey Saballa, and over here is my husband, Jasper Saballa. So yeah, we've been married for 7 years and been with the community for 6 years. So we had our CLP back in 2013 in Singapore. So both of our families are within the community, so they serve as our inspiration to join CLC as well. Okay, to share a bit of our background. So yeah, we got married April 28, 2012. So like 2 naman. Ako yung makakatayo dyan. Jasper and I were former colleagues. We met because we were from the same batch mate, hired during that time, year 2006. Although we were from the same university, we never had a chance to see or meet each other at school. The first time I saw him was during our first day of our employment. I was with my then batchmate, and before we entered the lift, he told me that his crush is going on the same lift with us. So I got curious who's that guy, but I'm so focused on our first day of work, so I just ignored his statement. So when we got out of the lift, he introduced me to Jasper. So that time we said our first highs and hellos. And then upon finding out that we were from the same uni, he was like, "Oh, mabuhan ka din! Di mo kilala?" I was like, "Wow, ha?" Parang, so I was like, sa loob-loob ko, I was like, so pressed ka naman this guy. Pero I told him, sorry, hindi kita kilala. So, yeah. So looking back at our story, we never thought that we're gonna get together, like we're gonna be an item. It was very complicated. So the rest of the story will be on another sharing since Talk 5 now. So fast forward, Jasper and I as a couple, we always try to be as normal as possible. We're both crazy kasi, baliw-baliwan, lalo na when we're together. So, we've been blessed with so many things from our needs to the things we never thought we needed. So we both were able to provide for our respective families, and then we traveled several countries, and then we enjoyed our married life as a young couple with God's providence. Okay, from today's talk, we should love God with all our hearts, strength, mind, and soul. So brothers and sisters, how can we love God if we don't know Him? Or if we related to our everyday lives? How can we love someone we don't know? Growing up from a Catholic family, so both of us, we both know who God is and how He is in control of our lives. But growing with the community, CSC, we develop this urge of knowing Him or knowing God more through His words and about His life. And with this, our love for God has evolved into a different level and perspective. We started reading daily scriptures when we joined the community. Okay, from the start, we just made it as a routine, a daily routine before leaving the house for our respective workplaces. So we read the gospel, we discuss, and we reflect. But as we go along, this became a necessity for us to start our day. We feel incomplete and empty if we fail to read the gospel. This serves as our inspiration and guide for our daily routines. Looking back, I see this as the game changer of how we love God. From loving God as our God, like, okay, I'm gonna obey God because I don't want Him to get mad. I don't want to disappoint Him, or for the fear of that we're gonna be punished, or He will take everything, all the blessings that He has given us, to a kind of love that, okay, I will follow God because I really love Him. I don't want Him to get hurt, or because I love Him and I want to serve Him, and I love God, and I will also love everyone that He loves, to that kind of level. Related to our story, this is also how I got to learn that I already have feelings with Jasper. So, like what I told you, our story is a bit complicated. There was a stage in our life that I always push him away. And then, I was pushing him away. Hindi lang halaga, pero nahirapan ko. And then, when I got to realize that I have feelings for him, I started to avoid things that will cause him pain, because I don't want him to get hurt anymore. And that's the time I realized that he has a special place in my heart. And the rest of the story is for another sharing, di ba? Top 5. So yeah, that's how our way of loving God has been elevated into a more, personal way. One of the things that brought Jasper and I closer is music. I love to sing, and he also loved to listen. And cheer for me, of course. I used to be a choir member of our parish church in Cavite City, Philippines. I used to sing for mass services, weddings, etc., even funeral services. We go for choir competitions and sort of. I like to sing as a hobby and as my way to serve the Lord. When we moved to Singapore, I had less opportunities to sing for mass services, mainly because I felt like Singapore lifestyle is very busy and stressful that I cannot handle choir rehearsals anymore. So yeah. 2 months before we got married, February 2012, I felt a barely noticeable lump in the left part of my neck. I had an ultrasound and biopsy to be sure that it's nothing serious. My doctor said that the lump was benign and too small for a surgery. So he asked me to monitor it if it will grow bigger. I had it monitored every year until last year, 2018. My doctor here in Sydney requested for another ultrasound and biopsy since I started complaining for discomfort and difficulty in breathing, especially when I'm lying down. I also started to feel that I needed more effort when singing, and there were times that I feel hoarseness with my voice. From the ultrasound result, what used to be a tiny lump in my left lobe have grown into a golf ball size lump or even bigger, plus another smaller one on the right lobe. The bigger one came back benign, while the smaller one was found more aggressive, and it has 40% chance of progressing to cancer, which is considered high risk. Undergoing surgery, a surgery was advised, proposing to totally remove both of my thyroid. So I'm gonna be a thyroidless person. Actually, I have no problems undergoing the surgery since I've had around four surgeries in the past. But the main risk is the possibility that I might lose my voice, temporarily or permanently. There are 4 main nerves surrounding the thyroid that can lead to total loss of voice. During that time, I know that I must go through the surgery. Choosing between keeping my voice and saving my life is not a question anymore. It's just a matter of preparing myself for the risk of losing my voice. This could also mean losing the chance to use my God-given talent to serve Him. During that time, I was talking to God, Lord, please, ito na nga lang yung magandang meron ako. So I was like, Lord, please, let me keep my voice. I want to continue to inspire using the talent that you have given me. And this is the best way I know how to serve you. I want to sing for my future kids, like what I do for Jasper. So I was like, Lord, please, help me. Let me keep my voice. I repeatedly asked the Lord. July 6, 2018, the day of my surgery, I sang as much songs as I can, thinking that those were the last songs that I might be able to sing. I sang songs of Beyonce, Adele, Regine, lyric songs, pamalakasan, ganyan. I even record videos of me singing. Brothers and sisters, looking back, there's a saying that you'll never know one's true worth until it's gone. That was what I'm feeling about my voice. I felt like I wasn't able to fully utilize it to glorify the one who gave it to me. Or I wasn't able to share it for its ultimate purpose. Fast forward, I'm already in the recovery room. You know how the nurses treat the patients in the recovery room. They will repeatedly call your name or ask you like, are you okay, Marisol? Marisol, are you okay? And they won't stop unless they get anything from you. So for my case, it's different because I already told myself and Jasper, okay, I won't talk unless I see you first and confirm to me that you already talked to the doctor and everything's fine, no nerves have been damaged, and I can function as per normal. But then the nurse in the recovery room won't stop. And then just for me, just so I can go back to my sleep and the nurse will stop bothering me. I said, still groggy and scared, I said, I'm okay. So upon hearing my voice, I cried. And then I thank the Lord. I can't thank the Lord enough that I can still speak after the surgery. When I woke up, I'm already in my hospital room, very happy and excited to see Jasper and my mom. I started to talk to them as if nothing happened. The following day on our way home, I am already unknowingly singing along with the songs played on the radio. Upon realizing it, I was like, oh my God, I'm already singing. And then I can thank the Lord enough for giving me another chance to keep doing what I love to do. My voice got even better in terms of volume and strength, considering the size of the lung that are blocking my throat were already removed. The lungs were sent for biopsy, and to my surprise, the results said it is in very early stage of cancer. I don't know how to thank the Lord for giving me the strength to make this brave step of going for the surgery. Imagine that. I am already cancer-free before knowing about it. From that day on, I promised myself to offer this talent to the Lord to the best that I can, to glorify and give back to God all praises and glory. Right now, I am part of the CLC choir serving 2 parishes every 1st, 2nd, and 5th Sunday of the month, and you are all welcome to join us if you want. I sing for charity events and some CLC assemblies as part of the music ministry. And for me, this is just a small way of giving back and serving the Lord. You know what, brothers and sisters, serving the Lord with all our strength could sound challenging and demanding. But imagine doing it for someone you love and care about. It wouldn't feel like you are serving. Actually, it's more of enjoying and rejoicing about the blessings that are given to us. Okay, I want to end my sharing with a side story. This is my favorite analogy of how we should love God. This story was shared by a Filipino priest when he officiated a Simbang Gabi Mass in Singapore. He said, with regards to handling the blessings of the Lord, we should act as Alulod, or how we call it here, gutter, saru. The alulod is part of the roof that gathers all the rainwater and channels it to the pipe that directs all the way down to the drain. The rain represents the blessings from the Lord. These are the blessings the Lord is pouring onto us. And as the alulod, we are the ones receiving and channeling all those blessings. So from today's talk, we are mere stewards of the blessings from the Lord. We do not own them. Imagine if the alulod is clogged. It will go heavier and heavier until such time that it cannot hold the weight of the rainwater anymore. Eventually, what will happen? The alulod will be damaged and destroyed. Same with us, brothers and sisters. If we keep the blessings to ourselves and won't share, time will come. We will be damaged and broken. And of course, this is out of greed and selfishness. We should be a fully functioning alulod. When the rain pours, we should let the water pass through us and channel it where it's supposed to go. In that way, we can gather more rainwater, more blessings, without causing damage to ourselves. Similarly, the Lord will pour more blessings onto us if we know how to share. So I encourage you, brothers and sisters, that whenever we are faced with a chance to share or help, let us remember this Alulod story and choose to be a functioning Alulod. Our God is a faithful God, and He will not leave us empty-handed. So let us not be afraid of sharing our time, talent, and treasures as our way of showing our love for God. So with that, may God be praised. Thank you.